Pamela, today I will be doing salaries and wages adjustment. Before I can even start with anything, I'll start with the definitions. Remember, a salary is a remuneration that you pay to your employees as a company. Now, what comes into your bank account when you get paid that salary is what we call the net salary. It's what we call the net salary. Net salary, it's simply your salary after all the deductions. However, cost to company will be a gross salary. A gross salary is simply your basic salary that you get paid at an hourly rate, plus any bonuses, plus any overtime that you've been paid. That's what your gross salary is. And this comes from grade 10, and you need to remember it. Gross salary is your basic salary plus your bonus plus what you get paid as overtime. Write that down because it's very, very important. And that will be your gross salary. And all of those are simply what we call cost to company plus any contributions. Obviously, cost to company will be your gross salary plus any contributions by the employer is equal to cost to company. Gross salary plus any contributions by the employer will be equal to cost to company, which is basically your total expense as a company when it comes to salaries and wages. Remember, salary is normally paid monthly, wages are paid weekly. Now, gross salary is the salary of an employee before deductions, and I've just explained to you now. Gross salary, it's simply your basic salary plus bonuses plus whatever you get paid as overtime. Now, your gross salary must be recognized as an expense in the income statement, i.e. the statement of profit or loss. Please note that only gross salary must be recognized as an expense and not the net salary. If given the net salary, you will need to add all the deductions to get your gross salary. After all, gross salary minus your deductions is equals to net salary. It makes sense that when you want your gross salary and you're given the deductions, your gross salary will be equal to net salary plus the deductions. I hope that makes sense. Net salary is equals to gross salary minus the deductions, meaning that gross salary is equals to net salary plus deductions. Please make sure you write it down so that you remember it. As I've said, net salary will be your gross salary minus all the deductions. Net salary must be recognized as a current liability in trade and other payables if it is not paid or if it has been omitted. And when you record it in trade and other payables, you will record it as creditors for salaries. Remember, gross salary is an expense. It goes to the statement of profit or loss. Net salary is a liability. It goes to trade and other payables as creditors for salaries. Contributions by an employee, of which we normally call deductions. Please note that contributions by the employee, i.e. deductions, are paid by the employee. I repeat, deductions are paid by the employee. Contributions by an employee are paid by the employee. It is just that these contributions are deducted from the employee's gross salary by the employer and then paid to relevant parties. Ultimately, contributions by an employee are actually paid by the employee, not the employer. The employer only does the admin by deducting it from the gross salary and paying it to the relevant third party. All right. Contributions deducted from the employee's salary but not yet paid to the third parties, e.g. to the pension fund, SARS, medical aid fund, must be recognized as a liability in trade and other payables. Basically, those are just current liabilities. What does this mean, though, in simple terms? Let's say you work for, like I'm working for Veritas College, right? And then Veritas College pays me 5,000 rand. Okay. I've got a medical aid. In that medical aid, I need to contribute 1,000 rand. And then let's say I've also got pension. For my pension, I also have to contribute 1,000 rand. I will not, Veritas College will not give me the whole 5,000 rand. Well, let's say tax is also 500 rand. Okay. Veritas College cannot give me the whole 5,000 rand as my gross salary. It can't. Because if it gave to me, what are the chances that I will pay for my medical aid? What are the chances that I will pay SARS? What are the chances I will pay for my pension? I have immediate expenses. So I will not do that. To safeguard me from me, what Veritas College will do is that they will pay all these third parties using my salary, not their money, but using my salary. All of that will be deducted from my salary. So remember, I said Veritas simply gives me how much? 5,000. So they are going to take this 5,000 that they're supposed to pay me every month. They are going to take 1,000 rand paid to Discovery or Medihealth or can't remember the others. Okay. And then they're going to take another 1,000 rand paid to my pension, which my pension can be Sanlam, can be Momentum, it can be whatever. So they're going to pay it to all those people. And then remember the 500 is pay as you earn. Pay as you earn will go to SARS. Note that Veritas pays me 5,000. But from this 5,000 they pay me, they're going to take certain expenses and pay them directly. I won't have to pay them, but Veritas will pay them on my behalf. Now, the money that was supposed to go to Discovery, if it has not yet been paid by Veritas, it is going to be included in trade and other payables because it needs to be paid by Veritas to those third parties. The one that is supposed to be paid for pension, it will be paid to Sanlam or Momentum by Veritas College. If it has not yet been paid, they will record it in trade and other payables. And that 500, they're supposed to pay it to SARS. If it has not yet been paid, they will include it in trade and other payables. It is now Veritas's liability, not mine, because they've already deducted those amounts from my salary. Now tell me, how much am I going to get as a salary? I am going to get 2,500. Okay, that's the one that notifies you at night and you become malinga, you celebrate and you don't sleep. That SMS notification that you get at night, at midnight, will be 2,500. Do you understand that it was not the 5,000 rand that Veritas College needed to pay me? The things that they have paid with the other 2.5, is it for Veritas College? Are they for Veritas College? Is that medical aid for Veritas College? Is that pension for Veritas College? Is that SARS, that amount that I need to pay to SARS for Veritas College? No, they're not for Veritas College. They are for me. They paid it on my behalf. They were deducted from my salary. I hope that makes sense. Ultimately, cost to Veritas College at the moment will be 5,000 Rand. Those are what deductions are. That 2.5 that I spoke about will be the net salary. And the net salary, remember, we are going to include as creditors for salaries in trade and other payables. Now, remember, contributions by the employee are paid by the employee. And then we've got contributions by the employer. Do you see the difference? Now, what are contributions by the employer? Let me just give you the definition. The employer may contribute towards an employee's pension, UIF, and or medical aid. Such contributions by the employer must be recognized as an expense. I repeat, such contributions by the employer must be recognized as an expense. That expense can be pension fund contribution, medical aid fund contribution, or UIF contribution, and they will be recorded in the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, i.e. the income statement. Let me just finish with the explanation. The contributions by the employer not yet paid to third parties, e.g. the pension fund, to SARS, or medical aid fund, must be recognized as a liability in trade and other payables. Okay, let me just give you a practical example. Remember, Veritas College is paying me 5,000 Rand. On top of that 5,000 Rand that they pay me, they can say, you know what? Whatever you contribute for medical aid, we are also going to contribute. Whatever you contribute for pension, we are also going to contribute. Let's say for medical aid, they contribute on a rent-to-rent basis. On a rent-to-rent basis simply means that if I contribute 1,000 Rand to medical aid, they will also contribute 1,000 Rand. And let's say for pension fund, they contribute 2 Rand for every 1 Rand that I contributed. So meaning that if I contribute 1,000 Rand towards my pension, no, towards my medical aid, Veritas College will contribute 2 Rand. Let me just repeat that. If I contribute 1,000 Rand towards my pension, Veritas College will contribute 1,000 Rand. If I contribute 1,000 Rand towards my medical aid, Veritas contributes 2,000 Rand. You got that? How much will Veritas College contribute in total? Veritas College will contribute 3,000 Rand. Now, question is, what is the cost, the total cost to Veritas College for employing me? The total cost to Veritas College for employing me will be 8,000 Rand. It will be 8,000 Rand. Not 5,000 Rand, but 8,000 Rand. Because on top of paying me the 5,000 Rand, they are also going to incur extra expenses for medical aid as well as for pension. I hope that is clear. And obviously, these extra contributions that they are making will be recognized as an expense. If they have not yet been paid, they will be recorded in trade and other payables. Meaning that cost to Veritas College at the moment is 8,000 Rand. Okay. If I didn't have a medical aid, cost to Veritas College will be 6,000 rand because they wouldn't need to contribute the other 2,000 rand. They contribute to those so that they encourage you to have a medical aid, and also they can also encourage you to save for the future. And they also get tax benefits. You also get tax benefits when you remember when you contribute to medical aid, it means that when you get sick, you go to a private hospital, meaning that more funds will be allocated to hospitals and you will need to use those resources. So it's a saving for government. Okay, remember grade 10? We spoke about this in grade 10. All right, let us check this example here. These are details of an employee, M. Nguni, who had been employed from the 1st of December 2022. Well, who had been employed on the 1st of December 2022 and were omitted for salaries and wages for December 2022. Oh, okay. So this person was employed right at the end of the financial year, I'm guessing. The details of his salary were as follows. So this person's M. Nguni's gross salary will be 25,000, and from that salary, we're going to deduct pay as you earn, we're going to deduct pension fund, we're also going to deduct medical aid. So meaning that that SMS notification that comes at night will be an amount of 6,500 that will be paid to M. Nguni. The company contributes for each rand towards the pension fund and 1,500 towards medical aid. Let me see, how much are we contributing towards the pension fund? We are contributing 1,500. It means that when we contribute 1,500 towards pension fund, the employer will contribute 3,000 rand. So how much in total will go to the pension fund? It'll be 4.5. 4.5 will go to pension fund. 3,000 of that is contributed by the employer, and 1,500 of that has been deducted from the employee's salary. Okay, let's record this quickly. Remember I said we are going to debit salaries and wages, which is an expense. We are going to debit with the total gross salary. Gross salary for M. Nguni is 25,000. That is the expense that M. Nguni has to get paid. We have incurred it as the business. But from that 25,000, part of it must be paid to SARS. How much must be paid to SARS? It will be 3,000. And then from that, we need to deduct money that goes to pension for who? For M. Nguni, which will be how much? 1,500. And our medical aid, these are all liabilities. That is why we are crediting them. It will be 4,000 because we have not yet paid them. Remember, this salary was omitted from the salaries journal. So we haven't yet paid them. We still owe SARS. As the company, we owe SARS 3,000. As the company, we owe SARS 1,500. As the company, we owe medical aid fund 4,000. All of these, we owe them because we already took it from M. Nkle's salary. But however, have we paid M. Nguni? Wow, M. Nguni. Have we paid M. Nguni in this case? We haven't. Because his salary will be divided between 4 people. SARS, whatever pension it belongs to, whatever medical aid fund it belongs to, and part of it must be paid to him. We still owe M. Nguni that 16,500. It still needs to be paid to him. Okay, so we credited liabilities in this case. We debited salaries and wages because that is an expense. Gross salary will be an expense. Towards SARS, we owe 3,000. Towards pension fund, we owe 1,500. Towards medical aid fund, we owe 4,000. And we still owe Entle his net salary, M. Mugoni, his net salary of 16,500. I need to state that all of this was deducted from M. Mugoni's salary by the company. So the company still has these funds that it needs to pay to the relevant parties, and it hasn't done so. That's why we recognize all those credit entries as liabilities. Liabilities increase on the credit side. I hope that is clear. As I've said, the company also contributed. They contributed towards the pension fund, and I said any contribution by the company will be an expense. And towards the pension fund, the company will contribute 2 rand for every 1 rand that is contributed by M. Nguni. So in this case, M. Nguni contributed 1.5 towards the pension. It means the company will contribute 3,000 rand. So this is an expense. So in total, for employing M. Nguni at the moment, the company has paid 28,000 rand to M. Nguni. 25,000 rand was what needs to be paid to him as a salary, and we contributed 3,000 rand to M. Nguni. But this 3,000 rand that we contributed, have we paid it to the pension fund? No, we haven't. So that is why we are going to credit the liability, which is pension fund, by that 3,000 rand. This is pension fund contribution. We also contributed 1.5 for medical aid, so we are going to debit medical aid contribution. Again, this is an expense. On top of what we pay M. Entler, we need to contribute an extra amount, which is 1,500 in this case. Have we paid this 1,500 to the medical aid fund? Have we paid it to Discovery? Have we paid it to GEMS? Have we paid it to MediHealth? The answer is no. Since we haven't paid it yet, we are going to credit the liability, which is medical aid fund. Remember, this was omitted, and the fact that it was omitted, it means we are at the end of the year. We only found out about this at the end of the year. So there's no way that we can pay it immediately. Obviously, even if we paid immediately, the funds will only go out tomorrow, and tomorrow is the new financial year, which is the 31st of December. The new financial year will be the 1st of January 2023. Okay. So in this case, at the end of the year, we still owe those amounts. Now, the total cost to company will be how much? It will be that 25,000 rand plus 3,000 rand plus 1,500. So in total, M. Nguni will be paid 29,000 rand 500. 1,500 of it is for our medical aid contribution. 3,000 of it is for pension fund contribution. The other 25,000 is what we pay him. But he decided that on that 25,000 rand, part of it will be paid to SARS, which was, I forgot it. Let me just go back. Which was 3,000. Part of it will be paid to pension fund, which is 1,500. Part of it will be paid to medical aid fund, which is 4,000. And he will only receive 16,500. In the general ledger, how do we record this? I will start with financial position accounts section. Creditors for salary is what we owe M. Nguni. It is a liability. Liability will have plus, will have minus plus. Liability will have minus plus. It increases on the credit side. Let's see how much we owe M. Nguni in this case. So in this case, M. Nguni is being owed how much? It will be salaries and wages in the general journal is being owed 16,500. And we are going to close it off because it's a liability. It's a financial position account section. It'll have balance carried down and balance brought down. meaning that on the 1st of March, 2022, we are going to owe Mnguni 16,500. Apologies for this. Please change those dates that were given to you in the question. It's not supposed to say December, it's supposed to be February. So this person was employed on the 1st of February, 2022. And for February, this person worked for the entire month and they were supposed to have gotten paid, but they were not paid because their salary was omitted from the salaries journal. And on the 28th of February, they worked from the 1st of February 2022 and up until the 28th of February 2022. But the 28th of February 2022, which is the end of the month, is also the end of the financial year. All right, that's why it is an adjusting entry, because this mistake was discovered right at the end of the financial year. Everything still stands. The only correction was with respect to the dates. I only discovered when I got to here that the end of the financial year is actually the 28th of February 2022. Note that we owe SARS an amount that was deducted from Mnguni's account, which was 3,000 Rand. It will be balance brought down in the next financial year, but obviously we are going to have balance carried down and balance it off. That's how much we are going to SARS at the beginning of the financial year. So far, how much are we owing people? What is our liability so far? It is 16,500 we owe to Mnguni plus this 3,000 that we owe to SARS. We deducted it from Mnguni's salary, but we haven't paid it over to SARS. That's why we're still owing it. Okay. And then with respect to pension fund is also a current liability. It will be a minus plus. It goes up on the credit side. How much are we owing the pension fund? It will be the 1,500, which was deducted from Nguni's account, and our own contribution. We also contributed towards Nguni's pension. And how much did we contribute towards Mnguni's pension? It was 3,000 in total that we contributed for Mnguni. So towards the pension fund in total, we owe that 1.5 plus 3,000 Rand, and that will be our balance carried down, and it will be 4,500. All of those must be paid to whatever fund, pension fund, that Mnguni belongs to. 1,500 was deducted from his salary, and the extra 3,000 Rand was contributed by the employer. Towards medical aid, from Mnguni's salary, we deducted 1,500. This is still owed to the medical aid, but we as the company, we also contributed 1,500 towards his medical aid. My bad, it's actually 4,000. Let me just confirm it. So from Nguni's salary, we deducted how much towards medical aid. We actually deducted 4,000 and we contributed 1,500. So in the general ledger, of M. Nguni towards medical aid. We deducted 4,000 from his salary and we contributed an extra 1,000 rand, bringing the total amount contributed to the medical aid fund to 5,500. We have not yet paid this 5,500. That is why it is regarded as a current liability. We will still owe it in the next financial year. Getting to nominal accounts section, we know that for M. Nguni, the net salary that needs to be paid to him will be his actual expense, which is the actual salaries and wages. So I'm going to have it as creditors for salaries, and that will be 16,500. But on top of this, we contributed, and in total, we know that our total salaries and wages expense, which we are going to close off against profit or loss, should be 25,000. As the company, we contributed to M. Nguni's pension, and we contributed 3,000 rand. Do not forget that. But we'll get to that later. For now, we know that 16,500 is the net salary that needs to be paid to M. Nguni. And on top of that, from his salary, we deducted pension fund. So how much did we deduct as pension fund? We deducted 1,500 from his salary. It forms part of his salary package, all right? And towards medical aid, he contributed 4,000 rand. It's part of his salary package. All of these were deducted from his salary. And lastly, SARS income tax was supposed to be paid to SARS, which was 3,000 rand. This also was deducted from his salary. So when you add all these amounts, it constitutes the total expense when it comes to the salary of M. Nguni, and that will be 25,000. So his salary is split into four. 16,500 is paid directly to him. 1,500 is paid to whatever pension fund he belongs to. 4,000 is paid to medical aid fund he belongs to, and 3,000 is paid to SARS because he needs to pay SARS. So all of these constitute his total salary, and all of these will be debited to salaries and wages. Salaries and wages, in total, the total expense to salaries and wages will be closed off against profit or loss, and that will be 25,000 rand. It's an expense, and it's at the end of the financial year. We close it off against profit or loss. For pension fund contribution, as I've said earlier on, it is an expense. So since it's an expense, it's a plus minus. It increases on the debit side. It will increase by the amount of pension we contributed for M. Nguni, which was 3,000 rand. And that is closed against profit or loss. So the total expense for now will be 28,000. We get into it. It's made up of the gross salary we paid to M. Nguni plus the pension fund contribution we've just made. We are just left with medical aid fund contribution. We contributed, so you will debit this with the medical aid fund because we haven't paid it yet. Okay, we still owe it. And how much will that be? It will be 4,000 rand. This 4,000 rand will be closed off to profit or loss since it's an expense. And in this case, we didn't actually contribute 4,000 rand. Let me just check how much we as the company contributed. We deducted 4,000 rand from his salary. He contributed 4,000 rand. We, as the business, we contributed 1,500. Remember, at the moment, the total cost to company is 28,000, and then we contributed an extra 1,500. What is 28,000 plus 1,500? It will be 29,500. Obviously, it's made up of what we still owe to medical aid for our contribution, medical aid fund that is, which is 1,500, which is what we contributed. We are going to close it off against profit or loss. So in total, as I've said to Mnguni, the total cost to company will be 29,500. The contributions, we normally call them benefits. People that are employed normally call them benefits. In the statement of profit or loss, we only record our expenses. Well, we'll start with salaries and wages in the statement of profit or loss. And I will start with salaries and wages. You normally put in only your gross salary, which will be 25,000. And pension fund contribution will be the 3,000 rand. Medical aid contribution will be the 1.5. So in total, towards this employee, our total cost to company, our total expense will be a sum of 25,000 plus 3,000 plus 1,500. That will give you 29,500. Then in trade and other payables, we will start with creditors for salaries, which is the net salary of an employee. We still owe it to M. Mnguni. And to SARS, we owe 4,000 rand, 3,000 rand, 3,000 rand. And for pension fund, it'll be 4.5, which is what was deducted from the employee salary plus what we contributed towards the pension. So in total, towards the pension fund, we owe 4,500. Medical aid is the same thing. What the employee contributed, which is the deduction, plus what we as the company contributed. So all that amount will be paid to the medical aid. So in this case, medical aid will be 5,500. In trade and other payables, what we owe in total will be the same, 29,500. Please try out classwork 1. You do pretty much the same thing. You will prepare the general journal, the ledger account, statement of profit or loss, as well as trade and other payables. Please check out the next video for corrections to classwork 1. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.